Welcome to the inaugural episode of our new series, Exploring the History. In this episode, we are talking about the story of board games in Mesoamerica. What board games were played in Mesoamerica? How were they evolved over the years? What was the game of Pok-Ta-Pok? When was it first played? And how was it played? Here is our story about board games in Mesoamerica. Board games were played in Mesoamerica since at least the 15th century BC, and its original name was Pok-Ta-Pok in the Yucatek Maya language. In English, it's known as Pok-Ta-Pok, and it was adapted from the word Pok-Ta-Pok. In Nahuatl, which was the language of the Aztec, the game was called Olamalistli or Tlachli. In the classic Maya language, it was known as Pits. In Spanish, it's called Juego de Pelota Maya, Juego de Pelota Mesoamericano, or simply Pelota Maya. Competitive board games were played in almost all the cultures of the ancient world, and it was one of the most fundamental features of the ancient Mesoamerica, which comprises the modern day of Belize, Guatemala, El Salvador, small parts of Honduras, Nicaragua, and Costa Rica, and the lands of central and southern Mexico. The Mesoamerican board game was played since at least the 15th century BC, from the emergence of the Olmecs in central Mexico, the earliest known major Mesoamerican civilization. Ball games continued to be played till the 15th century AD, till the fall of the Aztecs to the Spanish conquistadors. More than 1500 ball courts have been discovered in Mesoamerica. Many more ball courts might have been destroyed by the Spanish. The oldest discovered ball court was excavated at Paso de la Amada, located in Chiapas, close to the Guatemalan border. Through radiocarbon dating, it was determined that this venue was constructed at some point between 1490 BC and 1270 BC. During the late formative period, ball courts started becoming much more commonplace throughout Mesoamerica. Ball courts were constructed in city centers and associated with the political and religious elites. During the early classic period, when the city of Teotihuacan exerted its influence throughout the region, ball games in Mesoamerican social, political, and ritual life seemed to have dissipated. Anyway, the frescoes also feature several versions of hip ball games. They may not have been as significant as before, but these games were definitely played in Teotihuacan. During the late classic period, in the Maya region, the popularity of the ball games was unsurpassed. Every major site had one ball court, and some have many more. In total, more than 1500 ball courts have been registered across Mesoamerica, the large majority of them dating to the Maya era of the late classic period. Between the 7th and the 9th centuries, and as a result of the decline of the classic Maya civilization, ball games suffered in some regions, but flourished in others. During the Aztec period, ball games flourished for the last time before their extinction. During the Aztec Empire in the 15th century, skilled players from the lower classes competed with nobles, and games were regularly played by elites and commoners. When the Spanish conquistadors arrived, the 3-millennium-old Mesoamerican ball games were consigned to history. During the late 16th century, ball games were not played anymore, and they were forbidden by the friars, because according to them, the games were based on witchcraft and pact with the devil. The hip ball game continued to be played secretly in some parts, especially in Nayarit and Sinaloa, in northwest Mexico. It's still played today in Sinaloa, and it's generally recruited to perform demonstrations. It's performed rather than played. Courts were rectangular, or a capital I shaped, 80 meters long, which is almost less than 25 meters of the average length of the current football pitches. The courts were bordered by high sloping walls or platforms on either side. Some versions of the game included a ring on the side of the platform through which the ball had to pass. The ball was made of rubber, ranged between 13 and 30 centimeters in diameter, and from 0.5 to 7 kilograms in weight. That change depended on the era and the version that the game played in. The most important part related to the Mesoamerican ball game is that Mesoamerica alone had balls that bounced because it alone had rubber. As for the gameplay, a little is known about how winners would be decided, though some sources say that the game was over if the ball was put through the ring. Some have argued that a ball game played with a wooden stick, which could be found in some frescoes in the city of Teotihuacan. Those frescoes depict several different ball games, with one of them is a stick ball game, and another is a ball game played with the feet, while another one features several versions of hip ball games. Ball games in Mesoamerica might have been a matter of life or death. Tour guides to Mayan archaeological sites mentioned that there were sacrificial rituals that followed matches. On the other hand, the Spanish chroniclers of the 16th century mention nothing about human sacrifice related to the ball games. It might be that these executions were related to the architectural phase of the ball court, rather than the ball games themselves. Anyway, it's unclear whether it was the losers who were punished by being sacrificed, or the winners who were offered up to be closer to the gods, or if the sacrifice stories were true or just a myth.